All right, folks, gather round. Whether you're chilling with your mates, hanging out with your partner, or just scrolling through your phone alone, I've got a question that's bound to make you smirk. Don't worry, this isn't your typical awkward health class talk, promise. Instead, let's have a bit of fun and get a little cheeky, shall we? Now let's talk about something that's usually off limits, especially when you're sitting at the dinner table with your nan or your parents. You know, those topics that make everyone suddenly fascinated by their mashed potatoes or desperate to change the subject. But hey, sometimes the best conversations are the ones we're not supposed to have, right? Yep, you guessed it, we're talking about condoms, but not just any condoms, we're talking about the big name, the one that's practically a household word, Durex. You've seen the brand, you've heard the jokes, maybe you've even had a giggle or two about it with your friends. But have you ever really stopped to think about it? So here's my cheeky question for you. Have you ever actually wondered what Durex stands for? I mean, it's a name we all recognize, but do you know the story behind it? Or have you just assumed it's one of those made-up words that sounds cool and gets the job done? Don't worry if you haven't got a clue. Honestly, you're not alone. Most people have never given it a second thought. It's just one of those things we accept, like why the sky is blue or why socks always disappear in the laundry. But today, we're going to change that. Think about it. Those little blue boxes are everywhere. You can't walk into a supermarket, a pharmacy, or even a petrol station without spotting them. They're tucked away on shelves, sometimes right next to the toothpaste or the painkillers, as if they're just another everyday essential. And in a way, they kind of are. In fact, Durex is so common you'll often find it sitting right next to a pack of chewing gum at the checkout. It's almost like the universe is daring you to grab both and see which one gets a bigger reaction from the cashier. But here's the thing, I'd bet you a tenner that, despite seeing Durex everywhere, you don't actually know what the name means. It's one of those brand names that's become so familiar, we never stop to question it. It's like that catchy song you can't get out of your head. You hum along every time it comes on, but if someone asked you what the lyrics actually say, you'd probably draw a blank. Durex is exactly like that. Instantly recognizable, but a bit of a mystery. So what's the story? Where did the name come from? Is it just a random jumble of letters, or is there a hidden meaning that's been right under our noses this whole time? Well, get ready because we're about to pull back the curtain and reveal the secret behind one of the world's most famous brands. Buckle up, because today we're diving deep into the world of Durex. We'll uncover the origins of the name, explore how it became a global icon, and maybe even surprise you with a few fun facts along the way. So stick around, because by the end of this, you'll never look at a box of Durex the same way again. Let's be honest, Durex is pretty much the rock star of the condom world. In the UK, it's the best-selling brand, and for good reason. They've been around for ages and have a reputation for, well, getting the job done. But like that mate who always has the best stories, Durex has a bit of a mysterious past. We know their products are top-notch, but the story behind the name, that's a well-kept secret for many. So, buckle up, Buttercup, because we're about to unravel this mystery together. When it comes to condoms, the list of nicknames is almost as endless as the stories people tell about them. Seriously, these little packets have more aliases than your mate who's always reinventing themselves with a new hair color every month. From the classic to the downright bizarre, it seems like every friend group, every city, and every generation has their own favorite way to refer to them. Rubbers, jimmies, raincoats, love gloves, party hats, French letters, and even the ever-mysterious sock. You name it, someone's probably called a condom that at some point. It's almost like a secret code, one that's constantly evolving depending on who you're talking to and where you are in the world. We've all got our preferred slang for these little lifesavers. Maybe you grew up calling them protection, or maybe your friends always went with balloons. No matter what you call them, they all serve the same important purpose, keeping things safe, fun, and worry-free. And let's be honest, sometimes the nicknames are half the fun. They break the ice, lighten the mood, and make those slightly awkward pharmacy runs just a bit more entertaining. With all these different names floating around, it's no wonder people get a little creative when it comes to guessing what Durex actually means. Is it a secret code, a clever acronym, or maybe something a bit more mysterious? The possibilities are endless, and the guesses can get pretty wild. Some folks are convinced it's a fancy French word, maybe something you'd hear whispered in a Parisian cafe or see written in elegant script on a bottle of perfume. After all, everything sounds a bit more sophisticated in French, right? Others are sure it's an acronym for something scandalous or top secret. Maybe it stands for durable, reliable, extra exciting, or perhaps something even cheekier. Theories abound, and everyone seems to have their own take on what those 5 letters could possibly mean. But here's the thing. While the rumors and wild guesses are fun, the real story behind the name is far less exotic and way more practical. Sometimes the truth is just simple, straightforward, and, well, a little bit boring compared to the legends. So, are you ready to finally find out the real meaning behind Durex? Hold on to your hats, people, because the answer is coming up, and it might just surprise you with how ordinary it really is. Now, the most popular guess I've heard is during sex. And honestly, it makes sense, right? It's catchy, it's relevant, it even sounds a bit like a bad 70s disco song. But alas, my friends, it's not the right answer. Close, but no cigar. Turns out the folks at Durex weren't going for something quite so literal. They wanted a name that reflected the quality and reliability of their products. So, if you're ready for the real deal, the actual, honest-to-goodness meaning of Durex, then keep on reading. Section 5, the DRE Dream Team. Drum roll, please. Durex, my friends, stands for durability, reliability, excellence. Yep, you heard that right. Those 3 little words are the backbone of the Durex brand. They're not messing about with fancy slogans or suggestive innuendos. They're all about keeping it simple, straightforward, and most importantly, safe. And let's be honest, when it comes to condoms, those 3 qualities are what really matter, right? Section 6, from humble beginnings to global icon. Now, before it was Durex, this condom-conquering company was known as the London Rubber Company. Not quite as catchy, is it? Thank goodness they had a rebrand back in 1929. Since then, Durex has been at the forefront of, shall we say, intimate innovation. They were the first to use electronic testing on their condoms. Can you imagine being the bloke who got that job? All right, Barry, time to fire up the old condom tester. But it wasn't just about safety for Durex. Oh no, they wanted to make sure things were enjoyable too, if you catch my drift. So they went and invented the first anatomically shaped condom. Because let's be honest, one size does not fit all, especially when it comes to these matters. And then came the ribbed and dotted condoms. Now, I'm not saying they reinvented the wheel with that one, but they definitely added some fancy hubcaps. So when I stumbled upon the real meaning behind the name Durex, I was honestly blown away. I mean, here I was, thinking I knew what it stood for, just like everyone else. But as soon as I learned the truth, I couldn't keep it to myself. I just had to share it with the world. It felt like one of those moments where you discover a secret that's been hiding in plain sight, and you can't wait to see how everyone else reacts. So I grabbed my phone, started texting friends, and even posted about it online, eager to see what would happen next. And you know what? The internet went absolutely bonkers. Within minutes, my notifications were blowing up. People were tagging their friends, sharing memes, and making hilarious reaction videos. It was like a digital wildfire. Everyone wanted to weigh in, and nobody could believe what they were hearing. Hashtags about Durex started trending, and suddenly it felt like the whole world was in on the joke. The energy was contagious, and it was amazing to see so many people coming together over something as simple as a brand name. People everywhere were shocked, amused, and honestly, a little embarrassed. Some admitted they'd been saying it wrong their entire lives, while others confessed they'd never even thought about what Durex actually meant. There were so many "wait, what?" moments, and the comment sections were filled with people sharing their own stories and misunderstandings. It was like a collective light bulb had gone off, and everyone was eager to join the conversation. Social media was absolutely flooded with comments like, "Wait, I thought it meant during sex all my life, and how did I not know this until now?" People were tagging their friends, starting polls, and even making up their own funny versions of what Durex could stand for. It was hilarious to see just how many people had their own theories and how quickly the real meaning spread across the internet. And then, when people found out it actually stands for durability, reliability, and excellence, the reactions got even better. Some couldn't believe the brand had been so straightforward and clever all along. Others joked about how they'd been overthinking it for years. The simplicity of the name made it even more impressive, and people started sharing old ads and packaging, pointing out how the answer had been right there the whole time. Even some experts and professionals chimed in. Marketing gurus, branding experts, and even scientists weighed in on social media and in interviews, saying they were surprised by the simplicity and effectiveness of the name. They talked about how Durex managed to capture its entire brand promise in just 3 words, and how that's actually pretty rare in the world of branding. Some even used it as a case study for how to create a memorable and meaningful brand name. Who knew a little word like Durex could cause such a stir? It just goes to show that sometimes the most surprising stories are hiding in the most ordinary places. And when the internet gets hold of a fun fact like this, you can bet it's going to go viral. So next time you see a Durex box on the shelf, you'll know the real story. And you'll have a great conversation starter too. Now here's a little fact that might surprise you. A recent study found that a whopping 60% of men are wearing the wrong size condom. That's like trying to squeeze into your little brother's wellies. Not gonna end well, is it? But fear not, because Durex is on a mission to help us all find our perfect fit. They've got this nifty online fitting service that's discreet and easy to use, so no more awkward fumbling in the dark, lads. Durex is proving that they're not just about making condoms, they're about making a difference. So there you have it, the story behind the name Durex. It's a tale of innovation, quality, and a good dose of cheeky British humor. Now go forth and impress your mates with your newfound knowledge. And while you're at it, maybe have a think about other brand names you might not know the meaning of. You never know what linguistic gems you might uncover.